Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are checking out Watcher of Realms. Big shout out to Moonton for sponsoring this one. And I'll say, though this is a sponsored video, I've been playing this long before anybody reached out to me about a sponsor or anything of that nature. I have just genuinely been playing this game and loving it. So much so that I'm covering it on my other channel daily. There's at least one daily video, sometimes two. We are pumping out content for the game. We are playing it very heavily. So there will be a link below if you want to download the PC client of this game. We all love a good PC client around here. It is a very solid PC client too. It is much better than dealing with the emulators in my opinion. So download that if you want to check it out. And then again, there will be a link to my other channel if you want some daily content for the game. Just kind of a series going through my progression, and occasionally as I see fit to make other videos about stuff, we do that as well. But this game is really nice, man. Their slogan is "A new experience awaits," and it's very apt because while it is recognizable, it's got a lot of familiar elements. They're doing a lot of things pretty differently, and the gameplay itself is very different. So it's really cool, man. It's a good slogan. A lot of the times the slogans feel cheesy and stuff, but theirs is pretty apt for the state of the genre, I would say. So let's take a quick tour of the game. I'll show it off a little bit, and then if you want to check it out again, there's a link below. So we'll talk about the first thing that I know is on everybody's mind, and that's going to be the graphics. Every time we ever talk about a new game, the big hot topic is the graphics, and this game has them. This game has some killer graphics, man. The champ designs are really cool. They all feel very unique. It does not feel at all to me like there are models being used. In most cases, I think to a degree, that's always going to be present in these games, but they all feel pretty unique, and the graphics are solid, man. So I don't think graphics are going to be an issue for anybody. I just pulled this dude the other day, and he looks so cool, man. I'm so excited to get him in the mix. This dude too, I think, looks really cool, and you know we love candles around here, so really cool. This champ you get from the storyline. She's kind of like it's like mini arbiter missions. You can finish it and get her in 19 days. I think is the quickest it's possible. I think I got mine in 20 days, so it's doable. You got to grind a bit for it, but it's doable to get her soon. She's really good, and I mean, champ design is dope, right? So the graphics are there. I don't think anybody will have any opposition to how good this game looks. And you'll see some of the battle mechanics and stuff, what it looks like in actual gameplay shortly. But there's a lot to do. So quick summary of the game. Again, there's familiar elements, but it's tower defense. So the gameplay is very different. So again, while we have the familiarity of summoning different champs with their different skills and mechanics and things to consider and gear, the gameplay is just so much different because it's tower defense, and it's been really fun to solve problems as they pertain to you and your roster, which again is something that I think we're all pretty familiar with. The game seems very well balanced in my experience. The progression's been very smooth, and I'm at a point now in most things in the game where I'm really starting to face some real difficulty. I have had a couple of bumps along the way where I'm just stuck scratching my head like, how am I supposed to do this? But you eventually figure out that you kind of have to adjust the way you play. So like early in the game, in the early stages of campaign and some of the gear dungeons, it's really just about getting the right units in the right place. To a degree, there's a lot of forgiveness in it as you're learning. And then you get to a point where it's like, now I got to get a little bit more specific about what types of units I'm placing in which spots, and I got to make sure I group everybody together in a certain way so my healer can cover them. And then it starts to get to, okay, now I need to get everybody in the right spot, but I also got to get them there at the right time, because if I put them down at the wrong time, some of the mechanics of the stage are going to become a problem for me. And then it gets to where it's like, now not only all of those things matter, but now I've got to swap out units at the right time. It's really interesting. It's been a lot of fun to kind of have to develop the way that you play as you progress. And I'm not even in the end game yet. I'm on stage 15 in Gear Raid 1. It goes all the way up to 21. 15 in Gear Raid 2 as well, and then I think I snuck through 15 in Gear Raid 3, but I didn't get a 3-star clear. So the way that works is you can auto-farm stages once you've 3-starred them. And once you've 3-starred, you get this thing called Power of Dominance that gives your entire team a stat boost. So basically, if you can sneak through once and 3-star a stage, when you go back to auto farm it, you're far less likely for it to be even close because you're getting such a substantial stat boost for your auto farms. So, and then it just kind of mimics what you did, but your team is 30% stronger. So once you get through a stage on 3 stars, you're pretty much clear to auto farm it safely. That's a pretty cool system. But yeah, it's been really fun solving all of the different problems that come with all the different dungeons and their mechanics and their enemies and their mechanics, and it's a lot. And again, I don't even know what else to come because I'm not in the end game yet. I'm not really even in the late game yet. I think I'm starting to sit comfortably in the mid game is about where I'm at right now. I think I'm settling into the mid game at the moment. So let's jump in and do, I don't know. Let's do Gear Raid 1. I'm gonna do 13 just because I don't want to struggle while I'm trying to show the game off. So Gear Raid 1, the way that this is set up, basically what you're doing is you're setting up your team to protect these crystals over here. And on any given stage, there's any given number of crystals. And sometimes there's one central way to defend them. Sometimes they're split up, so you kind of need 2 separate teams split up. Again, different strategies for different situations. But here we've got 2 walls that are protecting our crystals, and we're going to start to just get swarmed, basically. There's going to be tons of units coming at us. So our job is going to be to deal with those units before the walls go down and we find ourselves in trouble. So we want to start loading up ways that we can minimize the amount of damage the wall takes. So your fighters and tanks can go on the ground. We'll take it back down to ×1. So these were my fighters. Everybody else goes on platforms. I can't put them on the ground, right? So the green squares are where you can put them. The red squares are their range. And then once you drop someone on the square you want them on, you get to pick which direction they're facing. And that'll dictate their range. And then anybody that enters their range gets attacked. Unless it's an airborne unit and it's a tank that can't reach an airborne unit. One of the really cool things about this guy is that he can reach airborne units even though he's on the ground. So that's pretty neat. But basically we're just gonna load up as much AoE damage as we can. We'll go ahead and let her start popping off. And then as they all pile in, we're gonna let him pop off because he's got a nasty, nasty ult, dude. Pow right in the kisser. Yeah, that boy nasty. All right, Pyros. And we might go ahead and drop a healer now. Let's drop a healer now. And then we'll go ahead and let him ult. And then we got 2 more. You know what? Let's get Nyx in the mix. Bars. I haven't done a bunch with Nyx yet. So yeah, basically the goal here is to just kill these guys before they cause too much of a problem for our wall. And then it starts to get tough because you get these little poisonous guys, and when they explode, they leave a cloud that damages you. It's a lot going on. But that's a quick intro to the type of gameplay we're looking at here. Again, it varies heavily from dungeon to dungeon, from stage to stage. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it is so much fun, man. Such a blast. Guys, can you get on? And can you come on? Can you come on? We're trying to wrap this up. All right, well, there you go. Man, I remember when Gear Raid 13 was. Gear Raid 1 Stage 13 was such a headache for me. But again, that Power of Dominance thing is also a big deal. So the fact that we've cleared it and we have that, we go in with a 30% stat boost. And it makes a big difference. Stat boosts make seemingly small stat, 30% is not that small, but seemingly small stat boost make a pretty big impact in this game. So that's a quick look at the gameplay. Again, there's tons of different kinds of gameplay in the game as well. But I don't want this video to be an hour long. So if you want to see more, we cover it all on my other channel as we go through. So you can check that out. But another thing that I think the developers have done really well is they seem to have paid attention to other games and other communities, and have kind of taken note of what players tend to not like, what seems to aggravate players, and they've implemented some pretty good quality of life. So one that I think y'all are going to be particularly stoked about is the quick star up system. So if you go into your heroes and go to quick star up, it'll do up to 10 at a time. So you can do 1 star to 2 star, 2 star to 3 star, and so on. And it tells you how many resources you're going to use. It shows you what's being used here. And so like 28 I have available I can make. You quick star, quick star, quick star. So I just made 28 3 stars in what, 5 seconds? And then now I can jump up and do 3 star to 4 star. And then now I can jump up and do 5 stars. Like, it's real nice, man. We just made a bunch of food in like 12 seconds. Lovely. That is so nice, man. I've seen so many games where the community's been asking for something like that forever, and it's still not in the game. And it's in this one from launch, pretty much. So that's pretty dope. There's good quality of life in the game. Again, they set you up really well for success. The login calendar is really good. This is an epic lord that you get on day 14. You get another there's day 14. You get another copy on day 44, so that you can get him to his 5th awakening. You get another really good champ on day 28. There's good resources in here. Like I said, the login calendar is solid. They set you up with really nice champs very early on. There's another champ named Mari, who apparently I've made a mistake by not investing in more heavily. You get her right out of the gate pretty much, and she's very effective in some of the very late stages of a couple of the dungeons because she's got really good crowd control. So the game gives you champs very early on that you're basically not going to outgrow. Wrath, the one that you get on day 14 and then again on day 44, he's insane. He's so good, and people in the end game are still using him very heavily. Volca is very good. The fusion, Abomination, he's a permanent fusion in the game. He's very good. They do a really good job of giving you useful champs early. And that coupled with your low pity for your first legendary pool, which is, again, I think 60 or 70, your account, you're going to get tools to utilize pretty early on in the game. So that's really nice. They're doing some really cool stuff for Christmas. They've got a login event to get a skin for Mari, who's the epic you get at the beginning of the game. You can participate in an event to get a legendary hero, Alistair, who's going to be new. They're adding a couple of other new legendaries as well. They do some really cool decorations for the campsite. They killed it for Thanksgiving, so I'm really excited to see what all they do for Christmas. They're doing a camp PK event where they're going to split the creators up into different teams, and you'll go to a website and join whichever team you want to join, and then perform in-game activities to compete against the other team and win stuff that way. They're doing a really good job of interacting with their creators and their community. They've taken feedback really well. There's been some times where they've done some things that the community didn't love, and they take feedback and they adjust and they do it differently the next time. It's all great, man. It all seems really like it's going really well over here. I'm having an absolute blast with the game, and the general consensus of the player base seems to be that everybody's loving it and everybody's very happy. So I think that's it. I think that's a decent introduction to the game. Again, there's a lot to talk about. So if you want more, if you want to see more, maybe you want to think about it, maybe you want to see a little more content, you can go check out my other channel and kind of look at my journey as we started playing. I started out free to play. I was initially going to do a free to play series, and I just, by the like 4th or 5th episode of that, I liked the game so much, and I liked what the developers were doing so much, that we converted it to a low spend. And then not long after that, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to put a limit like that on it. I'm happy to spend money in the game, so I'm going to. So I'm not wailing out. It's not in anything ridiculous or anything, but like it's a testament to how much the game is being enjoyed and how well the developers are doing. So again, links below if you want to check out the game. Links below if you want to check out my other channel. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you later.